Late 90s and early 2000s games had a level of interactivity that ruled. I was perusing the Steam store during the last Christmas sale and stumbled across Intravenous 2, a top-down tactical gameplay shooter that takes inspiration from multiple games, like Jagged Alliance 2, Deus Ex, Arma, and more. Now, here's the thing, I was originally writing a script that followed the entire game's story, but to be honest, the story isn't really that great. It's not bad, but it has the edginess of a late 2000s Flash game. People call each other fuckers, cocksuckers, assholes, and all sorts of stuff every few minutes in this game. On a very broad level, we play as a hitman named Sean who wants to take care of his dad's medical treatments by doing hit jobs. Unfortunately, things go south when some local mob guys, as part of a wider conspiracy thing, begins to take place and old Pops gets taken hostage. During the chicanery, Sean finds a guy named Steve who's from the first game, which I never played, and they have a symbiotic relationship as they both swear a lot and have tactical stealth combat skills. From there, the plot goes on. Is it really interesting? Not really, but either way. The presentation is cool at times though. Occasionally, between missions, there are these pixel art cutscenes straight from a 90s adventure game. There are also some plot choices that Sean and Steve have to make throughout the game. There are some twists and turns, but the real juice of the game comes from the gameplay itself. Let's get this out of the way now. I love Hotline Miami. As such, I did not play this like a stealth game, I played it more like a fuck up the bad guys game, and that's kind of a shame because there is a large amount of stealth mechanics like crawling, crouching, avoiding light, taking out lights by pulling fuses or shooting bulbs, or just turning the light switch off. There are noise differences between walking on grass versus concrete versus broken glass, noise movement, and a whole lot more. When the player gets a mission to take out a target or do stuff, investigate plot-related stuff, armed goons are patrolling the various levels in the game. They communicate with each other and coordinate patrols, searches, and attacks. You can knock them out one at a time, you can try to sneak by them, you can distract them with noises by throwing items or even shouting into your own microphone. At many times, Intravenous 2 feels more like a puzzle game as opposed to an action game. Right here is an example. This warehouse door is blocked by a keycard door and some goons are inside. There's no windows to crawl through, but there is a fuse box. I can try to find a keycard somewhere else, or I can pull the fuse and they stumble slowly out of the door to check it out, at which point I blast them and make my way in. There are many organic moments like this that are not pre-scripted. You gotta think outside the box and you can get some interesting things going on. While the player can take out bozos in a non-lethal way with their bare hands, there's also a large amount of tools that can be used. EMP blasts, flashbangs, grenades, Molotov cocktails, numerous firearms, attachments, modifications, knives, and a whole bunch of other stuff is available too. Weapon upgrades can be purchased after doing missions and grabbing loot to pay for the upgrades throughout various locations in the game that can go from office buildings to nightclubs to seedy industrial areas. I do have some complaints with the game though. The control and feel can be kind of clunky at times. For example, when trying to loot or interact with the body, there's a selection wheel thing that comes up that you need to navigate with different buttons on the keyboard to sort through and select the specified task. And when a whole bunch of people are walking around, you have to do it fast. And depending on where you're standing, different things get selected. It's also hard at times to tell which objects are only waist high and which can't completely cover you until you've already turned the corner, in which case you find out that, oh hey, they can't see me, or oh hey, they can totally see me and I'm fucked. But for the most part, the game is intuitive enough and many smaller issues go away once you get the hang of it. There's a few missions that take a bit of a unique approach. There are some civilian NPCs that are different than just random armed guards, and they have different ways that they interact with the player and the world depending on the context the mission is in. So that's kind of fun. Their AI is kind of janky though. They do tend to run towards gunfire, which is not what I would do if I was in a nightclub and I hear gunshots, but hey, more power to them. The tone of the game allows the player to gun down a whole bunch of asshole jerk-off fuckers, their words, not mine, without any real moral quandaries, which I can appreciate. It's sort of like a Hitman game where it's recommended you play a certain way, but you can really do whatever you want. I played the entire game like a fucked up Hitman Blood Money mission, and I got the good ending of the game still. During a huge gunfight, there's a John Woo movie level of environmental destruction that rules. Sprinkler heads can get shot off, lights can explode under gunfire, windows shatter with a crashing noise, grenades and molotovs blow the fuck out of everything. I do wish more levels in Intravenous 2 had more novelty to them, because I understand that it's not Hotline Miami, but there are parts in that game that were super memorable, although small, things like the bomb room, sniper fire flying through windows, vans busting through doors. Just little moments like that that add a touch of variety. Basically, all of the missions in Intravenous 2 consist of going into an area full of bad guys, reaching a place or a person, and either killing or escorting that person out. There's not a whole lot else going on. And as fun as the game is, just the story really didn't do it for me. But, you know, I don't want to complain about it too much, because it's like I didn't make a game, you know? I'm just a fucking YouTuber, so... and barely that. So, yeah, I think it's a unique game, and I don't regret buying it or playing it. It's pretty fun, but I probably will not be playing it again anytime soon. I'm aiming to release a video once a month, so if you liked this video, hit all the buttons and stuff, and watch the next one. And thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.